Welcome to the Stack Supplement Podcast, the premier source for supplement news and reviews.
We are back with another episode of the Stack Supplement Podcast, and it is another interview edition with a longtime friend, and I'm going to say the face of Cellucor, Greg from the great, legacy, the long-running Cellucor and C4. How's it going?
It's going very well. Honored to be here. Thank you so much for inviting me. This is a pleasure. I'm excited.
So, I mean, I'm going to jump right into it. How have things been going? Like this year, I've seen a few releases from the company. I think it was flavors mostly. How have things been? Obviously, with shit going on, there's you can't expect expect the unexpected kind of thing. So, yeah, how's the company been running? How's the progress, evolution, everything?
Everything is, we're a family through and through, and we're in it together in the trenches. And there's hard days, there's good days, there's long days, just as any brand is going to have. Yeah. But this year has been super trying. But the team that we have, and everyone that's putting in the hours and sharing the passion for the mission is firing on all cylinders. And so, even though it's been definitely a crazy year across the board for everyone on the planet, as far as launches, as far as flavors, as far as expansion, as far as spreading out across the globe as far as we can, we still stay full throttle on that for sure.
Yeah, I saw that when I can't remember what month it was that you guys expanded into the UK, if I'm not mistaken. Yep. Which was quite a big. I think they were saying that you were there. It was kind of like the Canada thing, I believe. Like there was product there, but not like on an official kind of level. Yeah. Now you have a full throttle kind of thing.
Yeah, so we've recently expanded, notably with the Beverage. If we'll kind of route in that channel for this answer, we've had expansion going into Canada, which dropped. I want to say probably over a month ago.
Yeah, it was recently.
With our Canadian C4 original carbonated, which long time coming. Super excited to get that into the market. Not an easy market to get into when it comes to everything that we'd have to tweak, but we were really confident in, C4 flavor experience, the ingredients that we could bring into the cooler in Canada and give something that was meaningful to the consumers and the retailers, something that they'd be excited about. And, from a global perspective, outside of North America, like you said, we were, we've expanded into the UK. We're expanding into Australia with our carbonated offerings as well. So we're continuing that, just like you saw on the Stacked Pro Expo.
Yes, yeah.
We had a few weeks back. Lots of growth and really no sign of stopping. We're on a mission.
I think C4 Carbonated has. You guys. I think it was 2-3 years ago. Yeah, I think roughly that people was asking, and I always get asked what's the most popular category or like the up and coming category. And I said multiple times, I was like, Bang is just tearing ass right now. I was like, someone needs to get, like when Quest was been quite up and coming back in like early 2000 teens, people were slowly seeing, and then they jumped into protein bar, and I said people need to get into energy. Like without a doubt, Bang was out on its own, and then you guys you were probably one of the first major sports nutrition brands to really give it a huge run, if I'm not mistaken. Like, if not, you're arguably still the only one of that size to do it. I always expected things like, Optimum had their amino energy, but it wasn't really like a full-blown like C4 carbonated. What made you guys just jump headfirst into it? Because you kind of did, and then you just did flavors version, the C4 Ultimate Carbonated Smart Energy. What was it that kind of gave you that confidence or idea to just be like, sure, you need to do this?
What was the catalyst to kind of enter that category, if you will? So you got to remember May 2018 is when we started to see our first versions of the carbonated C4 come out. This is our original can. We had our original 4 flavors: frozen bombsicle, tropical blast, twisted limeade, and strawberry watermelon ice. And there's been, evolution, obviously, both in flavor expansion and in the packaging and what's under the hood. We've taken out the artificial colors. And so we've evolved that, which we always are looking to do. But to get back to the root of the question, you got to remember, before that moment, we had also been present in gyms. We had been present in some clubs with our non-carbonated.
RTDs, yeah.
Yeah, the RTDs or the still versions, the non-carbonated as we refer to in the stills. And we saw, incredible growth in consumption and velocity in like the gym channels. And so we knew, okay, like when it comes to flavoring, we're really proud of what we do. We are obsessed with flavoring. And I've sat in on some of the most comically crazy sessions when it comes to flavors, talking about like, the orange notes and the tropical blast. And is there enough of a tail of the pineapple? You'd think that we were at this incredibly fancy wine tasting, and then you zoom out and it's just a bunch of meatheads. We had some fun with that on our social, and we call it the bromalier, as we are. But we were really confident from our velocity, in these gym channels and in specialty that, hey, we could really do some damage in the carbonated space. And so that was great. On top of it, fun fact, the Soda Stream came out some years ago, and we had a couple people that said, hey, what happens if we take this?
It was you, wasn't it, that did that, if I remember correctly?
Soda Stream. So the Soda Stream, you take your liquid and it just puts in the carbonation.
Yeah, I think, was it you guys who ran the promotion and you had the Soda Stream or something with the C4?
It wasn't us, but that would have been genius because that's something that tasted incredible. And even some people.
Damn it! Someone sent me one of those machines one time. I thought it was you guys. Maybe it wasn't, but I remember seeing something on social.
Yeah, but there was a lot of buzz internally about like, hey, we should be in this space. We've got these functional ingredients that we know have the awesome benefits that aren't just going to be another new product on the shelf. We know we're super proud of our flavors. Like, let's get after it. And so, to answer again the question, it's we had stepped into the realm of on the go and ready to drink with the still version, and we were really confident, with our specialty partners, with our digital business when it came to this carbonated, that we could really, dent the universe. No pun intended.
Interesting.
There, but yeah.
So it was more of like an evolution, or like an obvious evolution, I guess, than sort of seeing the trend. That was interesting. I remember you had the RTD.
Yeah, the other thing too, Shane, was even prior to our RTD. I mean, I remember in my days of, my roots are in GNC and specialty. And when I lived in Chicago and I was running franchise stores out on Roosevelt Avenue, I'd have people that would come in every day that were saying like, hey, I drink an energy drink or 2 or 3 every day. What do you have for energy? And they would use pre-workouts as just their energy drink.
Yeah, I find that absolutely insane.
Yeah. But they would just say, hey, this is something that's got caffeine in it and it's got these benefits. I can take this before I work out or if I'm tired. And so they started using it. And so we had a pulse. The reason I unpack that is we had a pulse that there was a demand for energy that was bigger than just in the gym. And so we wanted to take that and distill it and put it into the energy drink realm.
Interesting. Because it's been a pretty crazy ride watching that C4 Carbonated just turn into I wouldn't say it's like a big extension of the C4 brand, but it's just been awesome seeing that evolution. You did the C4 Carbonated, C4 Ultimate Carbonated, and then you had the zero the white one that was after. Then you had the Smart Energy. So it's been like crazy watching the brand twist and turn. What was the idea behind the Smart Energy? Because I thought, to be honest, me personally, I only ever use energy drinks for regular. I'd never use them for the gym. I may use them to like top up the caffeine if the pre-workout's a little light, but
I know.
Yeah, so like it's so I've always preferred that moderate caffeine, 150 to 200 kind of thing, and just ingredients more geared towards the focus and productivity rather than like performance, such as beta alanine and stuff like that. Was that kind of the goal with that one? Because it seems like it was, for me, one of the first beverages I had seen that was geared towards that. Like, you have companies that do the one product that fits that mold, but I hadn't seen a company come out with a product and then a version specifically for that kind of thing, like general focus, nootropic type stuff.
Yeah. So what we want to do with our beverage architecture, if I'm just speaking using C4 Energy, our yellow can is kind of the reference point. So that is all about energy to perform. You've got your 200 milligrams of caffeine, kind of in that moderate sweet spot that you alluded to. And you've got the ingredients for functional performance, your muscular endurance with beta alanine, you got your citrulline, you got your N-acetyl L-tyrosine. So that's your energy to perform. Now, what we're doing with smart energy is more of that cognitive energy experience. That is more of the, the top off, as you talk about, with your caffeine dosage. But then we've included the clinically studied ingredients like Cognizin and also Innovati, which help with that cognitive support and that focus. And so we know that, to perform at your best, you need energy to perform like in the gym, or energy to perform on your feet. And that's your C4 yellow. And then we call it energy to achieve with our C4 smart energy. That's when you're, I need my brain to be turned up to 11. I need my focus dialed in. Yes, it allows us to approach a different segment of the markets, one where maybe the beta alanine and the paresthesia is maybe a bit hardcore for them. It's very fair. In our world, Shane, we're used to that every single day. But for the average consumer, that might be a step beyond what they're used to. So what we wanted to do is we wanted to create a product that still delivers incredible C4 flavor, which we're obsessed with, but then also the ingredients for focus, which align with a lot of the demand in the markets, and introduce them into our brand. And so what we're starting to see now is you see people that weren't aware of C4, weren't aware of pre-workouts, weren't aware of sports nutrition benefits, that entered into the door via smart energy, which is great. And so that's been an awesome product that still delivers the DNA of flavor, clinically studied ingredients, and also formats that people are looking for. But it also opens the door to bigger and better and wider things across the whole industry. And when, rising tide floats all boats. So that's a great thing.
Yeah, I think I mentioned that to a couple of my friends that we do a podcast called The Final Scoop with a few guys. And I was saying that, I said, when brands do these things, specifically energy drinks, like you see people on the internet, and I know we've talked about this, you see people on the internet sharing energy drinks, reviewing energy drinks, and they would never have touched a protein powder in their life. They would never have touched a multivitamin, a pre-workout, a creatine, but they bought into the brand they'll be like, oh, cool. So energy drink. Yeah. Oh, they also do protein powder. And you bring that, it was in reference to brands who had done like beauty supplements. And while it's not for me, if you can bring someone into the world of sports nutrition who does take beauty supplements, they might feel a little more welcomed, because maybe before they thought it was all muscles and steroids.
Sure, totally fair. And that's been the beauty behind kind of the horizontal segmentation of C4. Even in 2015, if you rewind back to, when we dropped C4 Ripped, C4 Mass, and our first version, the higher stim was called C450X at the time, for the OG listeners out there that have been following. That was when we started to say, hey, there's a wider net we could be casting. We can bring more people in. And one thing that, I've talked with you about before is at C4 and Extend, so at Nutrabolt, we want to innovate, inspire, and make products that maximize human potential and make them accessible to all. And so that's where you get this breadth of offerings at a wide variety of dosages, at a wide variety of price points, still with DNA of C4 in each one of them, the packaging, the flavor experience, and all that good stuff. And so that's what we're looking to do. And just like you said, there's a beauty to that path when someone tries an energy drink for the first time, or tries that RTD at the first time at the gym, and then they start looking into the brand, like, what is this brand about? They rotate the can of C4 Energy, like, what is carnosine? What is beta power? Like, what do these mean? And now they're asking these questions, and this is something that we want to be a part of along every step of their fitness journey. And it's been so fun to be in the beverage space, because we're getting to meet so many new people in so many new settings. So it's super transformative, and we love it.
Yeah, I've just always been a big fan when you see things like that, brands that branch out, and it just brings in new people. It's kind of like, and I always reference this, is back in the day when Jacked was blowing up, and people would say to me, do you take Jacked? And I was like, yeah, it's a pretty good pre-workout. And I was like, what other supplements do you have? It's like, this is all I have. I was like, are you serious? And they're like, I just take it to go out partying or something. And I'm like, that is absolutely insane.
I told you.
And I just remember like talking to them. It wasn't even just one person. It was multiple people that were like asking me if I tried Jack because I'd been to the gym. But it would have been I always put many other supplements first.
Yeah.
But it was just crazy that it had reached the mainstream to the point where and obviously it would have brought people into the industry, oh, cool, protein powder can like help me lose weight and stuff like that. And I remember people that went from Jack to then fat burners, and it was cool to see. And again, it brings people in that probably shied away or never really wanted to get involved with the industry. But yeah,
I look at it this way. Gatorade makes powdered Gatorade as well.
Yeah.
A very small population knows that. What happens if Gatorade only made powdered product? Would they be as big of a brand as they are? Would sports drinks be as big as they were? No. Think about Powerade, think about Body Armor, all these other brands that have these sports drinks. If they weren't in that accessible kind of gateway format, things wouldn't be open to them. And we're in a unique spot where, that does allow them to enter into the wide range of products that we make across multiple categories, which is great. But having that introductory format is a huge thing for the brand and for the story and for the growth. For sure.
Will you, obviously, I don't want you to share anything you can't, but I have to imagine that with the amount of C4 versions you have on the market, you got the kind of, you got the C4 Sport. I call it sort of like the introductory beginner kind of thing. You got C4 Extreme, I believe, is the sort of flagship mainstream one. C450X isn't still on the market though, is it?
C450X isn't on the market anymore. So we got the Sport series, the Chrome series, which is original and ripped.
You have the Ultimate.
Yep, you got the Ultimate and
Dynasty.
And then also in Dynasty, and those are in the powders. And so we also have, depending on where you're at regionally, you might have some that are in our current Project Clear Evolution packaging.
Yes, I saw the C4 Ultimate one of that.
Yeah, and that's our Clean, Clear, Evolve direction that we're excited to take our powders. Some areas of the planet are still on our ID series. Well,
you guys are goddamn everywhere, so it's not exactly. I saw Optimum rebrand there. Like they said, we're rebranding last year in September, and since then I think they've rebranded like 10 products or something. And I'm like, I can't even imagine how long this is going to take.
Sure, yeah.
Like those things. And my friend, he has the gainer, and he bought it in, and he's like, "Oh, this is like my go-to gainer." And I was just like, "Oh, I see you have one of the old ones," and these. It's just crazy how big these brands are and how long it can take. But my point was that you have all these different versions of C4, even ripped and for the different versions.
Mm-hmm.
I have to imagine that you had the C4s, Carbonated Zero, C4 Carbonated, Carbonated Ultimate, Smart Energy. Are there any other directions? Because my guess, if I'm just playing, to put some money on it, is I have to imagine you guys got something more on that gaming area. I can't not feel that that's something you're about to do. G Fuel, I think, did an amazing job at really making it seem that gaming supplements are not just important, but gaming energy drinks are crazy.
Yeah, absolutely.
Even if that's not the category, are you guys working on more versions, newer versions, to further, I guess, broaden the reach of C4 in the beverage realm?
So when it comes to the beverage realm, there is, we do have flavor expansions that we're always working on. In fact, we usually have, and I'd have to talk to my colleague Frank on this, but we usually have between 6 and 8 approved flavors in the tank ready to go at any time, because there's a lot of prep work. Well, we're not going to deploy 6 to 8 at once, but there's a lot of prep work that goes into this. And so we like to have, for newness and innovation, let's get some stuff ready to go that we can deploy when we need to. So yes, there's flavor expansions that we'll see across, the C4 Energy and the C4 Smart Energy. There's also some new kind of experiential innovations we'll see. We love to tinker with formats. We love to tinker with new ingredients. Yeah, when it comes to the gamer crowd, I mean, we're excited to start connecting with people on the Smart Energy line. I think it fits really.
I think it fits authentically. I think there's always been that vague connection. Brands have always, when gaming came about, but kind of saw a potential. And brands just started adding gaming to their focus products, helps focus and study, and then at the end, gaming. And that's just generally how it's been. And even though G Fuel's been around, it was just a little tag at the end. It's now we do gaming stuff, supplements and stuff.
No, they've done a great job leading the charge there, and it's been awesome to watch their growth because they do it very well. I think the cool thing when it comes to our world is continuing to unpack the science for the consumer and for the game. If we're zooming in on them for the moment, what does psychomotor speed increases actually manifest into? The interesting thing, Shane, that I've always felt when it comes to everything cognitive ability is people, they feel it and they kind of sense that it's activated when they're using the product, but it's difficult to sometimes articulate though it can actually affect their day-to-day. If I tell you, if you have carnosine, this is going to help with your muscular endurance, hitting the saturation point, you can push yourself longer, further, harder. Like, people can picture that. Caffeine increases energy, ingredients that help with nitric oxide production. People can understand and experience it. Cognitive, you kind of hit this threshold of like,
it's difficult.
What am I waiting for? Like, I just took it. Am I supposed to can I move that with my brain now? Do I get the force out of nowhere? So the interesting thing that I'm very excited to continue to unpack is, okay, the clinical science with what's under the hood on these drinks, like, what do they manifest into when it comes to, attention time, focus, psychomotor speed, all of these fun things that have been clinically researched, and Kiowa and Cognizant have done a great job of it. But what is the message that really, really gets like the gamers excited? We've got some things in the pipeline that we're super excited to roll out, but I'm excited to dent that space with the Smart Energy line. And like I said, there's going to be more flavor innovation that comes out. There's going to be different versions that we're jamming on as well right now. There's going to be, lots of different nuances that we want to play with and tinker with. And, the product dev skunk works are always working overtime on pushing the envelope. And so there will be no shortage of toys and expansion when it comes to Smart Energy.
I always like that about the larger companies, is that they're larger and obviously they take like not much longer, but they take longer to get stuff out. But I always find it interesting when you talk to the bigger brands and they say, oh yeah, we got like 50 things in the works, or like we've got 30 things on the shelf ready to go. But then when it's a smaller brand, they don't have the time to put together things and just leave it on the shelf. They can only really put their effort into one thing and put it out. But it makes it seem like they're more fast, more efficient and more exciting. But it's just these bigger companies like yourselves, they want to nail it, They want to have it. It's. I always find it interesting. I remember going to a few companies and you see what they had on their shelf, and I'm like, why didn't you do that? Why didn't you do this? This would have been. I never saw this, and they're just sort of like, we have thousands of different things, ideas, kind of like movie ideas, I guess.
It's crazy, man. When you think about, and this isn't something that's kind of widely understood. So there's a few things. One, when you look at active ingredients, if we're just talking about beverages, for example, one of the reasons why things can take a long time, like our naturally flavored, naturally sweetened C4 Energy Natural Zero, the white can that you spoke on, that's 18 months in the works. And that's because coffee berry and cognizant and the other ingredients that we put in there, they don't have a neutral flavor when you put them in water. Now you have to have ingredients in there that balance the mouthfeel, the flavorings, the sweetness of it. You have to, we limit ourselves on our natural zero products to the natural flavors and natural sweeteners. And with that comes a whole natural set of complexities. Yeah. And that takes time to deliver. And we're excited to continue to grow on that. The other thing too, that's really interesting is when you are in multiple countries, like, okay, now you're subject to multiple regulations, compliance,
flavor palettes.
Your product ingredients, are subject to different dosages, different sweetener levels, different labels altogether. You have to have different languages, and all that comes with a whole, new set of focuses and bandwidth that's required. And that is our day-to-day. It is really, really impressive. And, if you just look at Extend, for example, that product internationally is doing great things. I did a little report in 2018, in the first year that we owned the brand of Extend, we sourced enough branch chain amino acids it was the same weight as 987 Ford F-150s with the standard options package. I did weigh that out, which is equivalent of 2.63 U.S. football fields.
I was going to say, like,
including the end zones. Yeah, this was the U.S. football, not our actual football for our international audience, park nose to tail. So over 2.5 football fields. And that was just in our first year. So we've gone full Pablo Escobar on a lot of these ingredients, and it is quite the challenge to keep everything up in the air. But we have a remarkable team that does it. And that's kudos to our product dev and our sourcing team and logistics, like people that are way more intelligent than me, thank God, are able to make this a reality.
I always like the comparisons that you hear in the US and America. There's always the football or like football field, or like that's always what it is. Every ad you see, it's so cool how like synonymous it is. It's like, well, a football field, right?
Yes, I'd have to run the number in meters real quick.
Yeah.
for you guys professionally.
I do like that about the energy drinks around the world. I like trying the different local ones, and it's interesting when you see what's popular. And like, I think Eastern Europe, I think, is the area where drinks get a little bit funky for me. I tried a few like signature ones out there, and I'm just like, I need some more of that sweetness. I need some more of the American. But it's interesting.
Up on you.
Because I can't remember, I think I was at a Thailand airport. It was a stopover, I wasn't there. And they had Red Bull. And I don't know if it was Red Bull. It had the colors, right? It had the colors and it had the bull.
I love it.
It had the colors and it had the bulls. It was a tint off the blue, but I was like, that's Red Bull. And it was
not legit.
It's a stumpy, one of them like iced coffee kind of cans. So it wasn't like, it was weird. But they only had those stumpy cans. Yeah. And I couldn't read a single word. I was like, God damn, I need this. Put the money in, got the can. Got two. Because I was like, if it's a short can, there's jack shit in there, obviously. And I throw it back, and it wasn't carbonated. Oh. And I was like, what? I was on the phone to my wife, and I was like, I just got this drink. I'm just going to do this, do some work on at the airport. And my face just went, and she's like, what's wrong? And I was like, wow. And I had to drink it because I was really tired. So I put it in the bag. But there's these things that you don't know. Same when we were in Turkey and we got our chips and our chips weren't salted, our fries.
Yep.
And then we realized every place we went didn't salt your fries. And it wasn't us thinking that they were useless. It was us because we should have asked because we expect it kind of thing. It's always weird. And beverages are like, my favorite. Energy drinks are my favorite. Whenever I go to a different country, I shoot to the cooler, I grab something, and I like seeing the different things. And C4 Carbonated is nice because, you've seen it further to the left of America and further to the right, and you're slowly making your way around the globe. I love it in the UK and stuff like that.
What's even so to bounce off that and riff off of that. So now you've got. So I'm assuming that something was suspect about that can. If the colors were off, I don't know if.
See, that's the thing. I don't know if it was, but it was at an airport, and I'm like, they can't be selling knockoffs at an airport. Of
course not.
I said, I think it has to be maybe like a really well market researched Red Bull or something.
It all sounds like it checks out just perfectly. But so assuming that was indeed the product you were hoping it was, the one thing that's really interesting is. You look at the flavor profiles and the taste preferences across each region, and it's different on the planet. You'll definitely be able to speak to that. And there's different levels of effervescence or the bubbles or the carbonation levels in the product, at different regions. If you go to Germany and you drink so if you order mineral Wasser or just Wasser, you are going to get carbonated. To the US, you are going to get the carbonated water, and that's their normal. Whereas out here, you have to say like, I want a Topo Chico or something. Get that. And so there's different preferences, and that just makes the whole global scope of your product operations like, okay, now we can't flavor, yes, we can flavor some of our products for EU and for other regions, but we need local experts to guide us on that whole experience and what's working out there. Because we can't just confidently say like, okay, we're going to drop fruit punch in Texas and then do the same thing across the sea and expect it to be the same thing.
It's crazy, like the culture, how different it is. And that's why I find Europe such a, like size-wise, it's not a big continent. Like Europe not that large. It's barely touches the size of Russia itself. But like you can go to one country and then the next, and they like completely different things. They sound completely different. And there was a beverage in Body Power in the UK, and I was sitting there talking to my friend, and people were coming through and trying it, and they had, I think it was their cherry flavor. I'm pretty sure it was cherry, and they were drinking it, and like they were drinking it, and then they started looking at it, and all of them then just started skipping the cherry because cherry, I don't know if you know, it is a very American thing.
Yeah.
And then they started getting into there was blue raspberry and watermelon. I'm going, these are all very. Like typically you don't, if you had to go to choose, these wouldn't be the lineups you would see. And they settled on the watermelon. Oh, sorry about that. And they settled on the watermelon, and his face kind of was like It's like sour. And then the guy's like, you don't like it? It's one of our top sellers. And he's just like, and he looks at me, and I must have looked non-American. And he says, it's hard to explain. I was like, it's too sweet to American. And he's like, that's exactly it. He was just saying like the intensity of it reminded him a lot of like that. But see, I love that. I think that's the best.
Sure. Yeah.
But then I go to things in Europe, the protein powders are very watery to me. But to them, they were like, oh no, these are rich. These are creamy. And I was like, for reals? Like you?
No, it's a completely different world.
It's like isolate consistency for their concentrates. It's really weird. But again, like you said, you have to mix things up. And obviously being C4, you guys have that insanely international presence. So I can only imagine, you develop one flavor, you have to develop something else. So
challenge.
As far as C4 Carbonated and the beverage, I think we covered that one quite a bit. What's on the agenda for? Because obviously it's hard to balance, and Cellucor or C4 itself is far more than the beverage. As we mentioned, you have as far as I know, the number one selling pre-workout in the world. What's the thoughts on that? Because I haven't really seen anything entirely new in that sort of your traditional realm.
Sure, as far as the powders.
Yes, powders.
Right?
Yes.
Yeah. So, if we rewind back to July 15th, 2019, that's when we launched C4 Extreme. And that was our first product in our Project Clear Evolution platform.
Yeah.
So to rewind, a bit further, C4 came out in 2011 in the packaging that looks like the dynamite.
But was C4 only in 2011?
Yeah.
God damn it. I thought it was like, for some reason, I thought it was, man, I must have been around when it launched. Damn, I thought that was like your third version or something, or second version.
So, well, before that, we would have had our first and second generation packaging, which for the OGs online here was our steel containers.
Yeah, I remember you having steel containers.
I have all of those, and every time I break those out at the office, everyone looks at them like, "Oh my God, I want to steal those," but I guard them like a hawk. So we've had P6, we had our original M5 in the first and second gen bottles, in the aluminum with the holographic labels. Packaging DNA is something that we've always been also obsessed about. Like, we want to look great on the shelf, and so our third generation lineup is where C4 made its debut in the circa 2011. Memory serves me correct. And then 2014, 2015, we moved into our fourth gen, and that's where you started to see the C4 Rips, the C4 Mass.
Yeah.
And then 2016, we went to our ID series, which has the infographics on the back. And then 2019, we stepped into Project Clear Evolution, which is our clean, clear, and evolved platform. And so these products in the powder lineup are going to, feature natural flavors, reducing artificials where we can, innovations on ingredients like the Nitromax, the citrulline nitrate that we're using. We've got continuous research on other things that I'm really excited for us to deploy into 2021. And then also, the big thing was the fully transparent label, which we've been really, really happy with. And so that launch happened in 2019, mid-July, and December of 2019, we launched the C4 Ultimates of the Project Clear Evolution. And then we also dropped C4 Dynasty, which was a little heavy hammer that some people have noticed. And so that came out as well at the end of 2019, or excuse me, that was in 2020.
Before we get on to like what's coming, I thought that like C4 Dynasty, like I've talked to this with many companies similar size to you, and I says, you guys need to do what C4 did. Because the one thing that's always been like the knock on these bigger brands is that they're like, oh, when you get bigger, your formulas don't get as competitive, and that's just how it's been. You see it when companies grow. It's just difficult to, I guess, not be risky, but not as like advanced or trying to please the hardcore market. But when you did the Ultimate series, I saw just a huge change. Like, it used to be C4, it's like, it's mainstream, blah, blah, blah. And then you did Ultimate, and everyone was like, holy shit. And then you did the whole Ultimate series.
Yep.
And then I think that, I think C4's reputation just went up a notch. Because whether you could argue with the mainstream C4, you like, try the Ultimate. And then you did Dynasty. And I was just like, holy shit. Like, and the thing is I can't imagine it being as fitting for everyone as C4, the regular one.
Sure.
But I was like, like, you just keep pushing the barrier up, and it's just like, hey, like, it's kind of, for me, it feels like a knock to the small guys, like, we can do this shit as well. I mean, this is our realm.
There's a couple plot lines that we can unpack on that, because some people, there was even some podcasts recently where people called it the fuck you product from Cellucor. Like,
it's actually probably a good,
that's
it's like a muscle flexing product.
Yeah, that's Bucky and Shaw doing their awesome work. And so there's the element of like, okay, is this the fuck you product from Cellucor? And the thing that we wanted to do with Dynasty was, if you look on the packaging, it's a limited edition small run product. That is our 10-year decade of dominance. Thank you to our C4 fan base. And so that's from everyone that's journeyed with us from, that third generation C4 Extreme that we talked about all the way through, helped us get to where we are. The way that I equate that product, Shane, is you take, when you were growing up as a kid, when I was growing up as a kid, I had a picture of a Lamborghini Diablo on my wall. That was like the rock star, like, I want that car. I want it with rocket ships and laser guns and all this stuff. That was that. When I think about C4 Dynasty, for me, that product and that flavor is like, this is for us, by us. This is us giving it all. And this is us just saying thank you to our fan base. And we wanted to make a product that no one would ever forget, and this was something that was like, to me, I equate it as that's my Ferrari or my Lamborghini on the wall. Like, us sitting in the room formulating that product, we're just sitting there like, and we get more excited and more excited. And we're like, hey, what if we did this? What if we did dual ATP amplifiers? What if we did 10 grams of citrulline? We're using 6 in Ultimate. Let's go to 10. Well, yeah, do we want to include 3.2 beta alanine? No, this is Dynasty. This is the 10-year thank you. Dial it up to 6.4. Let's increase the caffeine, because yes, we want this to be a strong product for someone that's looking for that. But at the same time, this is the greatest hits album all in one product up to this date. And that was the spirit in which Dynasty was born. And so super fun getting to formulate that. It tastes incredible, by the way. Not to tout the ability, but you essentially have a laundry detergent scooper as a pre-workout with all those actives, and it tastes incredible. And tip of the cap to our team again for continuing to make that awesome. So yeah, Dynasty was fun. To get back to your original question, about the powder evolution, we're really excited next year to continue Project Clear evolution. So you're going to see that platform develop into the other lines, the other major moving products that we have in the C4 family. So there's ongoing discussions about, okay, well, one of the pillars of Project Clear evolution is these innovative formulas. Like, how are we going to drive an evolution of these formulas so that it is good enough for us in 2021? And so we're going to have conversations that range across the existing C4 platform for powders and get them to wear that PCE Project Clear evolution shirt. And so that's going to be a big thing. The other, major things that you'll see from C4 are flavor expansions and new C4s hitting new markets. I know we've got Sour Batch Bros that's hitting European markets. That's one of our kind of cult favorite flavors. We've got products that are hitting Dubai. We've got more products hitting Australia. So we're going to see transitions into PCE alongside of kind of your recurring flavor expansions and size expansions into the other markets. It's going to be a big year for 2021. And honestly, I could not be more pumped about it. Like, we're ready to get spooled up on this. And when I look at our product pipeline and our portfolio dashboard, like, we're here to party. It's going to be great.
Have you held some things off for 2021? Just out of curiosity.
Have we held some things off for 2021?
Because obviously 2020 is the shit situation for a lot of brands.
Well, so that being said, 2020 for us, yes, there's been difficulties, and I won't shy away from that. It's been a rough year on many levels, and for everyone that's listening as well, I'm sure it applies to them. But for us, this year has been a great year for us to get laser focused on what we want to accomplish, at the end of the year, and also moving forward with 2021. But to be very fair and clear, 2020 has been incredibly productive for us. When you look at our beverage distribution expansion, when you look at, like, for example, if I look at some of the data periods that was, looking at, IRI data of the energy drink category over the last period, the category was up 1%.
Yeah, I saw. Yeah.
Look at the category year to date, we're up 160%. The category is up 7%. And that's due to, us getting placements, our completely kick-ass field team on the ground that's moving the product, our amazing distribution family. Like, we are firing on all cylinders. And I think our company does its best work when we've got our back up against the wall and when we are stock full of challenges. And I'm using 2020 as an example of that for sure. So yeah, 2020 has been a shitstorm for a lot of people, but we've stayed in it. We've stayed in the trenches, and it helps that we make caffeine for a living. I'm not going to say that.
Oh yeah.
It does help. We do have the unfair advantage there, but no, it's on.
Awesome. Well, I think we covered a mountain of things. I think it was definitely a great chat. So I imagine
What do you want to see from us next year?
Oh shit. I always hate it when people, not hate it, but like I always dislike it strongly, because like when people say, "Oh, what do you think of this flavor?" Or like, "What does Shane like this week?" And I was like, "Don't ask me that. Seriously."
No, you're a consistent dude, but you've also seen a ton of products that have come out across all the brands, because you're the legend in the space. What do you see as far as direction, or as far as, you mentioned gamers, is there any other realm that
what, for C4, what I would like to see? Oh, this is gonna make me sound bad.
Oh, this is good. I'm so into this right now.
So I'm a big gaming person. I've been a gaming gamer for like shit when I could afford a PS2. We had a PS1, but it was shared between families, so no one ever got to really enjoy it. And I invested in the PS2 by myself. I think it was like, fuck, it was a lot of money back then. And energy drinks came about in like 2016. No, sorry, not 2016. When I was 16, I got to try them. I remember I never tried coffee in my life. And I had it and I was like, holy shit, this is just magical, right? You take an energy drink and you feel energized. Nothing like it's as close to Harry Potter as you're ever going to get in my mind, right? Like with like muscle building ingredients, it takes time, right? This is like next 10 minutes. It's like I was tired, now I'm not. Maybe not so much now that I'm old, but whatever. So I've had this deep connection with energy drinks and gaming long before the gym and performance. Mm-hmm. So I would love to see, even though G Fuel's done it to some extent, I would love to see more gaming oriented. I would love to see a switch to, how we were saying people make nootropic and focus drinks, and then it can also help with gaming. I'd rather see a gaming drink and then be like, yeah, it also helps with focus and like productivity. I'd like to see that switch, and I would love to see gaming put to like more of the forefront. Because for me, I would always, you see a sports nutrition beverage, you may not go to it if you're a mainstream person, but if you see a gaming beverage and you're young, hell yeah. Mm-hmm. There was an interview I saw the other day, the guy this famous streamer Ninja. So it's like 2 billion. No, I think it was 2 billion gamers in the world, and 3 billion people with internet connection.
Wow, it's half the
planet. Might be getting those numbers wrong, but it was like, and he's just like, I'm missing out. Oh, I think he said it was 2 billion people with internet or whatever, and he's just like, why aren't they gaming? And I was like, that's a cool way of thinking of it, right? He's like, because there's games for everybody. SimCity, Counter-Strike, you got strategy games, you got everything. And I'm like, I'm sure I mixed up those numbers. I know it was in the billions, and he was just aiming for everyone who had internet connection, basically. And I was like, I love that idea. When you think about it on that aspect and that angle, gaming has more room to grow than any category, like in terms of like, I guess, popular culture and free time and hobbies and stuff like that. It's heaps of room to grow. Mm-hmm. But again, my point would be, I would love to see some more people attempt flat out gaming energy drinks, whether it be like a gaming version of Smart Energy, because I know USN in South Africa, they did it. They didn't name it. They just put a gaming controller on the front, and it was a gaming edition of their drink. But the formula was the same, blah, blah, blah. It was still 300. And I liked that concept. I thought it was really cool. And I was like, that would just be a version to reach out to an audience, see how it goes. Still connected to because theirs was a version of their mainstream drink. But just something dedicated to gamers, because I've always been a big fan of people who put together something for a specific audience. And I think a gaming energy drink, if I saw it on the shelf, would pick it up in a heartbeat. It is difficult with you guys because you're already in so many bloody things. It's hard to be like, hey, do this glaring hole in your lineup, right? Because you don't have any. You have to be specific because you've got so many air bases covered. But I think a gaming version, even a gaming thing, I just would like to see it only because, you know, I'm a big fan of Transformers, but I don't want to see anybody do a Transformers energy drink, right? But
it's
because
a gummy that transforms into an energy drink.
Yeah, but you know what I mean? Like, it's kind of like that whole Pimp My Ride thing. It's like, I like dolphins, so they turn this car into a dolphin, right? It's like, I didn't like it that much. I've always found it funny about it.
That's a throwback.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like when those.
Yeah, oh, I hear you.
So I'm like, I like some things, but gaming has so many different angles you could attack it from, with so many different things that you could relate to people, and as you can see with people teaming up with different games, and you got the new Xbox Series X coming out, the new PS5. I mean, it's the best time in the world with 2021 approaching. People in lockdown, I'm pretty sure gaming sales went up. I sure as hell did. But I would I just love seeing things only because it's a personal thing. You might not sell a lot,
right?
But I would buy.
So the Stack3d edition is just 2 grams of nootropics.
Oh yeah,
and then caffeine.
166 milligrams of caffeine.
Oh, you know? Okay, that's a specific number.
It is a specific number. There's no reason behind it.
Okay.
I just think I've also always liked it when brands do that, but for a sarcastic perspective, right? Like just to do the 166, there's no reason behind it, but I like it when some brands put in things like 990 milligrams of citrulline, and I'm like, that's a shit dose, but it's so specific, it makes you think you thought about it.
Yeah, no, there's some method to that madness.
I like those things. I always find it like, and then you see other numbers mixed up, like, I don't know, 3.4 grams of creatine. Start to think they got confused with beta alanine, and I was just like, oh, okay.
Perfect 10 from Extend with the entire dosage that mimics human skeletal muscle.
Yeah. No, but see, you guys have a reason behind that. I'm just saying, I've seen dosages.
Oh, you're just like a blatant dartboard, like, okay, now we're going to put that.
You see people put these weird specific dosages, and I think even me, I'm like, why did you do that? And then part of me is like, there's a smart reason behind this. And then I think about it and I look at the brand. I was like, nah, he's just done this it's like he's made a blend and then just divided it up.
So when we see the inevitable debut of the Stack3d energy drink, it'll be highly sweetened, highly carbonated, and have erratic dosages of all the active ingredients. And it'll be like sevens of everything. You get 77 milligrams of caffeine, 7 grams of citrulline, 700 milligrams. It'll be a weird, I don't know. I like those things, but again, I would say that would be a cool thing to see. Okay.
That could stretch for anything though. Like,
sure.
It was specific to CrossFitters or specific to. I like seeing specificity. I think is the word I'm looking for.
Yeah.
I like seeing that, because while it doesn't reach a broad audience, you got so many opportunities to give back and, I guess, acknowledge those people. You get that culture, that fan base, and I think
you want something that's just for them too. That's why specialty exists in general.
I always like that, and obviously, like I said, I'm a big gaming fan, and I've always just been like, yeah, give me something that I can relate to. You could put whatever the hell you want in there. I'm going to grab it, because I was like, holy shit, that looks cool. Even though I read all these things all the time and I know dosages, I'm like, nah, bro. You made me a jet black can with, I don't know, collaboration with Halo. I'm going to buy that shit, okay? I'm going to buy that.
We'll get to work. Love it.
Okay, well, thank you for joining me on this one. It was a great conversation as always, and
as always,
look forward to having you back soon.
Yes, sir. Thank you for having me.